Hello, this is chapter 2 in Java programming. In this chapter, we will have our first program in Java. So in this program, we will just print a line. So this is our first program in Java. In Java, we can write comment like this, similar like C++. So to write a comment, you start double slash and then you write. This will be ignored. In every program in Java, there should be at least one class. So if you write, even if you want to write simple program, you need to create at least one class. So you have to create one class. You write public class, and then you write the name of the class. It can be any name. It should use the identifier rules, like you can use characters, underscore, and numbers, and also $sign, but you should not start with a number. And usually, as a convention, the class name should start with capital letter. And this is the beginning of the class, the end of the class. Usually we make indentation. Everything inside the class should be indentation, yes, intended. And here inside the class we have the main method. In C++ we call it function, here we call it method. We have to write public static void, we know void from C++, and then the name of the function is main, and strings args. This is array of strings. It has to be in the main method. So this you will repeat in every program in Java. So public static void main string args. We'll explain this in details later, but for the moment we have to write it. And then this is the beginning of the main method, and this is the end of the main method. So this will repeat in every program. We have to make a class. Inside the class we have to make a main method written like this, and in the main method, this is the real programming. The first command that we want to learn is how to print in Java. To print in Java, we write system.out.println, which means print line, and then this parenthesis, and we write the sentence that we want to print. So this program will print welcome to Java programming. So this is our first program. Let me go very fast about the comments. So this is the comments, how to make comments in Java. If you want to make comments in multiple lines, you make slash star and then star slash at the end. Also, you can do that in the middle of the or at the end of the line also. So all the text between this and this will be ignored, and as a comment, you can make comment for documentation, but this is not important. If you forget to close the comment, this is syntax error. When we say syntax error, sometimes we call it compiler error, compile time error, or compilation error. It means like you make mistakes in the rule of the language, and when you try to run the program, you get this error before running the program. So it's at the compilation time. When we try to compile the code, we find some error in the code. So you should use comment all the time. Usually some people ask you to write comment for at the beginning of each program. Also, it's important, like sometimes you write comment for the code, and after you change the code, you need also to change the comment to reflect the change, the new change of the code. But this is like not important, just some tips. Also, like use blank lines, empty lines to make the program readable. If you Java will ignore the empty lines and white spaces. So even you add more spaces or more line, it will be ignored by Java. But it will increase the readability for sure. If you want to declare a class, you write public space class and then you write the name of the class. So this public and class are keywords, and this is a name you choose for the class. It's important that the name of this class, the public class, should be the same as the name of the file you are saving your code in. So if you choose the class name to be welcome1, it has to be welcome1.java. Okay, so this is welcome1.java. The class has to be the file has to be welcome1 of Java. Most of the IDE like do this automatically, but you need to know the rules. If you didn't do that, this will make an error, compilation error or syntax error, if you didn't name the file name as the class name. Here are the rules like for choosing identifiers names like class name. We same like C++. It's also like Java is case sensitive, so when you call it A1 and A capital 1, they are different. This is the braces, like left brace and right brace. This is the body of the class, and usually we need to make indentation. Most of the IDEs like do this by default, but like it's only readable. Even if you didn't do indentation, it's not error. Okay, if you make one brace and you didn't do the other brace, for sure this is syntax error. And some IDE, when you open a brace, it's directly complete the brace for you, so it's doing all the stuff for you. How to declare a method? As we said, you write public static void main, and then you write string args. You will not directly understand here, maybe later we will explain this, but for the moment you need to write this parentheses for the method, and this is how you define the main method. Void, we know the meaning of the void, but static and public we'll explain later. Also, like inside the method, you make another indentation. Here is how to print system.out.println. I know it looks more difficult than C++, but it's really easier Java. But only the first few lectures you feel it's difficult, because in C++ you make cout. Here you have to make system.out.println. But once you learn this, you will find it easy. So this is how to print a string in Java. You use some object called system.out.println, and then you write after every sentence in Java, same like C++, there is a semicolon. We can modify our first program, so we can use system.out.print, not println. So what's the difference? Print will print this sentence and will make the cursor here. So if you print after this, you will start from here, and this is what happens when you print later Java programming. If you use here println, it will print welcome to in one line, and Java programming will be a new line. So this is the difference between print and println. So usually print the string without going to the next line. So if you print after that, you will print in the same line. Println, print and make a new line. So if we print after this statement, it will be printed here. Sometimes also we can make \n. In this case, you write welcome \n means go new line, to go new line, Java go new line, and programming. We can use \n /teach for tab. This is carriage return. If you want to go back to the beginning, usually we don't use this. If you want to print \, you make it 2 times. If you want to print quotation mark, you make \, quotation, something like this. We have printf, similar like printf in C++, system.out.printf. It's formatting print. So system.out.printf, you give it first a string of the format. So you say I want to print string, and then I want to print new line. N is new line, S is string, and then another string and new line. After that you make comma, and you give the 2 strings that you want to print here and here. So it will print string here, welcome to, and then new line, another string, and then new line. So after the comma, make it space just to make it readable, as we said, Java ignore the spaces, but it's good to insert them. Integer, we know integers from C++, so it's just integer number. We can store them in variable. So here another program, we want our second program in Java. So here we want to make input. How to make input? Again, it looks complicated, but only at the beginning. So here input in Java is more difficult than in C++. In C++ we just make cn, but here you have to first import java.util.scanner. This is a class that can help us to make the input. And then in the main method, first we write scanner input equal new scanner system.in. So this is object of this class. You will not understand completely now what's going on, but you have to write this to make input. New scanner system.in. After that you can make input like cn here. Input.next line, this is like next int, sorry. This is reading one integer from the user. So let's see what will happen. We define three variables of type integer, number 1, number 2, and sum. We print for the user, enter the first integer, and then we write number1.input.nextInt. So we read from the user integer and we'll store it in number 1. Same for second integer, and then we will do the calculation, number 1 plus number 2, and we store that in sum. And then we print if sum is d. D is decimal like integer, and n. So we will print this integer here. Sum is this number. So this the user enter. So enter the first integer and waiting the user to input the number. So this import, we are using Java API, Java Application Programming Interface. That's why we use import at the beginning. All the import has to be before the class. If we didn't import and use the class scanner, it will tell us this scanner cannot be found. So we have to import this class. And this is the declaration of the scanner. We have to do this at the beginning of any program that read input from the user. We call it input, but we can call it anything. Yeah, so I think this information we already know. So we should choose like a meaningful variable name to help in the readability, and we can use camel case. In Java it's common to use camel case, you know. Usually also variable names start with small letter. So class name start with capital letter as a convention. Here it starts with small letter, and we can use capital letter in the camel case for the second word. So this system class is a class inside this library. We didn't make it import because by default this is imported java.language package. So there is a system class we are using for input and output. So here is when we make input. This is the name of the scanner, input.nextInteger. This will read integer, and this assignment and other things I guess you know. And this is how to make arithmetic operations, we also know. Printf, we already discussed that. The new thing is that d is replacement for integer. So every variable has a name and a type and a size and a value, same like C++. So number 1 has this value, and then number 2 when you read from the user has this value, and then sum has this value. So these are in the memory. We can have multiplication, remainder. So this is the operators that we have in C++. I think it's in Java similar to C++. We can have parentheses also. There are rules for which operators are important. So first multiplication, division, remainder first, and then plus minus and then assignment. So for example, here's equation to evaluate that, not equation, like arithmetic expression. To evaluate that, we need to follow these steps. Also, like, we can have equal and not equal, and greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal. So this also we can use in Java programming. For example, this is another example. We make import for the scanner, we make a class declaration, we make main method. This we have to repeat in every program, and then we define the scanner as usual. We define number 1, number 2. We ask the user, we print for the user enter first integer. We read the first integer using the scanner input. We print enter the second integer. We read it from the user, and then we compare using if. If number 1 equal number 2, print they are equal. If they are not equal, print they are not equal. If it's greater, and so on. Like, imagine you write two numbers, it will print that they are equal, they are less than or equal, greater than or equal. This you will print they are not equal, this is less than, and this is less than or equal, and so on. So I think this is clear. This is the importance: first multiplication, division, remainder, and then plus minus, and then this relational operators, and then this equality operators, and then assignment operator. So that's all for chapter 2. I hope it's clear. Thank you very much.